Hey everyone, my name is Jamie Leigh. Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching this video today. Now today we're back with another Cupshe haul and review, so I've got a bunch of different swimsuits to share with you. I also have a dress and some of their new shapewear. I have never tried any of the shapewear from Cupshe, so we'll see how it is. And I've tried tons of shapewear at this point on this channel, so I would say my requirements for like a really good piece of shapewear are fairly high, so we will definitely see if they meet those or not. Now, I've featured Cupshe plenty of times at this point on this channel, but I would say primarily they are known as like a vacation company. They carry tons of different swimwear pieces. They have plus size swimwear, stuff for larger chests. They have tummy control pieces, all different bum coverages, from the absolute skimpiest teeny tiny thong bottoms to more full coverage or retro style bottoms. They really have absolutely everything. So I personally really love them for swimwear, but they do also carry a pretty wide selection of clothing items, including lots of like beachy cover-up pieces or stuff that you would wear on vacation. And like always when we have these Cupshe videos, I will make sure that I include exactly what pieces I'm wearing, what size I got, what color I got, and a link to each piece down in the description box in the order I'm wearing them. So if there is anything you want to check out, you can find all of that information down there. And I do want to disclose that Cupshe sent me these pieces free of charge. That does not mean I only need to say nice things. And I always really strive to highlight the positives and negatives, what I like and what I don't like about everything I try on this channel. And with that, let's jump right into it with the review. I figure we'll start with swimsuits, move on to a little dress that I have, and we'll end with shapewear. First up, I have a couple more swimsuits from their latest collaboration that they did with Kelsey Anderson. I have both a one piece and a bikini, and then we have another swimsuit we'll take a look at after those. And this one piece I was really drawn to because of the pattern, but also because of the colors. So obviously it has this really nice dusty blue and then the white with this pattern on it. The really beautiful florals. I thought that that looked really nice. Now this exact pattern and like colorway was available in other swimsuit styles as well if you don't necessarily like this style of suit. But I thought that it was a little bit interesting. From the front, it just looks like a solid one piece, but from the back, you can see it has some cutouts. It looks much more bikini-like from the back. Now, I got this suit in a size medium, which is my usual size at Cupshe, but I do think that unfortunately, this one fits a little bit big. I'm noticing in particular that I have some extra fabric like right on the sides here, and that these straps are a little bit too long. Like I actually would need them to be a little bit shorter to really give me any lift or support in the chest. As it is right now, things are kind of just sitting where they sit naturally. There's nothing like supporting them at all. And I think that a lot of these problems actually have less to do with like the size and more to do with my height. I'm only 5'1", so I obviously have a bit of a shorter torso than somebody that was like 5'5" plus. So I just have these extra bits where the fabric is not sitting flush to my skin. These straps are a little bit long for me. Now it is adjustable with this tie, but I have it tied essentially as tight as it can possibly go, and the whole thing still just feels like a little bit loose on me. I really like the high cut leg on this. I think that that looks really pretty, and I always prefer something a little more high cut on the leg. In terms of bum coverage, this one I would say is fairly cheeky, definitely not a full coverage at the back. And there is a little bit of a wire here that is kind of holding this in shape so that you get that really defined sweetheart neckline. And I think that that looks cute, but because there's no support or anything, I feel like it's just sitting a little bit low. The strap should be a little bit tighter. That should be lifting this whole thing up a little bit. And I think that that would look better, and it would eliminate that extra fabric on the sides. But because these straps are not adjustable in any way, there's no way for me to kind of do that. So while I think that this is cute, I also think that it doesn't fit me the best. All right, next up we have a bikini from that same Kelsey Anderson collaboration collection. So you can see this time we have a little ruffly bikini top, and then we've got a small, fairly high cut bikini bottom. So this is a set, but you can get a different size in the top and bottom, which I always really appreciate at Cupshe, that you can mix and match sizing. Now I got this one primarily because I really loved the red. I think that a really bright, fun, colorful swimsuit always just looks so good, and it definitely always makes me feel a little extra confident when I've got something really like bright and colorful and show-stopping on. Now for this swimsuit, I got a size large in both pieces because I was concerned, one, about my boobs being too big and popping out of here, and then two, I always size up in tiny bikini bikinis to just try and get a tiny bit more coverage. If you have been around on this channel for a while, you'll know I'm still not super comfortable in teeny tiny bikini bottoms. I'm always afraid of lip slips. And I'll be clear right now, I don't think you would have that problem here. The actual gusset portion of this is nice and wide, so you wouldn't have to worry about anything slipping out. And while this is fairly like low compared to a lot of the higher rise bikinis that have been really popular the past few years, it still feels like there's enough coverage, and this isn't like a complete teeny tiny thong string bikini. I think this is more of like a happy medium where I would personally still feel comfortable wearing this. So for the top, we've got all of these really pretty little ruffles. We do also have a tie in the middle. Now this tie is not actually holding anything closed, so really it's just decorative. You could completely cut it off if you wanted to, if you didn't like how it looked sitting there, or you can just tie this in a little bow, and I think that that looks fine. It's just like a little cute extra detail essentially. Now the band of this is adjustable, so you can choose from a few different lengths. I currently have it on the tightest length because I sized up to a large to make sure that it would actually fit my chest, but at that tightest band length, it is still fitting really well for me. The bottoms, as mentioned, obviously quite skimpy, very, very high cut, and very minimal coverage at the back. Still much more than like a thong coverage, which I appreciate. I'm not about that thong on the beach life, though I think other people look amazing in it. But in general, I feel like this is a very cute bikini. It feels nice. Those ruffles are super, super soft, not scratchy in any way. The fabric on this all feels really smooth, really nice, and I feel like this would be a great bikini choice if you want something that is a two-piece, still has a bit more coverage up top, but super skimpy down at the bottom. I think this one is perfect for that. All right, next up we have one of the power mesh tummy control swimsuits from Cupshe. So I have made a couple of videos specifically talking about only the tummy control pieces. I personally really like them. I think especially if you are going on vacation and maybe you're going to be on your period, or you're worried about feeling a little bloated because you'll be eating and drinking more than usual, but you still just want to feel really comfortable in your swimsuit, I think that these can be a good option. The inside of these suits is completely lined with their power mesh, which is basically just supposed to provide a little bit of extra shaping, smoothing out of any lines, like maybe you have a C-section scar or a bit of like an apron tummy, you just want to smooth that all out. This is supposed to help with that. Now this particular style of suit, it's very dark, so it's hard for me to see if you can see on camera the differences of texture, but the center of this suit has a panel that can be ruched around, which I also think can just help provide a little bit more disguising of the tummy region if that's something that you feel a bit insecure about. This suit also has pretty good support. Like I'm feeling lifted, I'm feeling supported in here, and I think that's mostly just from the power mesh, and the actual design of the suit itself has like a little tighter section right under the bust, so things are kind of held in place here. Now this suit does also have adjustable straps, which is great. You can see the back on this one is fairly low, and then this one is much more of a full coverage back without being so full coverage that it feels overly modest, if that makes sense. I like that this is still coming up a little bit higher on the leg, even though it is like a pretty full coverage one piece. Still has a little bit of cheek at the back, so you don't have to feel like this is like an old lady swimsuit, which once again, there's nothing wrong with being an old lady or an old lady looking swimsuit. There is a particular look with the super, super full coverage bum that comes straight across at the hips. I don't personally like that style on myself, and I find it really uncomfortable on my legs. This style fits very comfortably. I think that it looks great and it feels amazing. So I would definitely recommend this one. And if you don't love the navy, this was available in a couple of other colors as well. So don't feel like you are completely restricted to just getting navy. I know for sure they had a black, and then they might have had red as well, but definitely a few other colors. Next, we have something that I'll be honest, I opened this package and immediately knew I wasn't gonna like it. I also don't fully know where it came from. So I know that a lot of people don't necessarily know how like influencer marketing or affiliate marketing or anything works. This is kind of like an interesting little lesson, I guess. So typically what happens when a brand wants you to like make a video for them is they will have specific products that they are currently marketing. They'll say, hey, like here's the list of stuff, pick a few things, pick some backup things in case anything's not available, and we'll send it to you to make make sure that you're actually like trying stuff that you either like or that you're somewhat interested in or whatever. I don't know what happened this time, but for some reason, I didn't really get sent stuff that I picked or that I liked. I just got sent random stuff. I don't know if I got sent somebody else's package who's just a similar size. I don't know if everything was just out of stock, but I ended up with this white dress that might look familiar to you because I already tried it on in my last Cupshe video. So obviously not a huge point trying it on again this time. And then I got sent this pink dress. I don't know if it is like sewn incorrectly or if it just fits me really, really weird. I'm not 100% sure. So this is a maxi dress, obviously. I don't know what the style name is because once again, I never actually selected this. It was just sent to me. It has slits on both sides, which I think that that looks fine, cute for a vacation. Has this little extra dangling piece in the bottom that's coming off of this O-ring detail. So from there down, I actually think that it's really cute. It's the top that I have a problem with, and this is where I'm not sure if it's just sewn crooked or what's going on up here, but this entire portion is like weirdly off to the left side. This cutout is way bigger than the matching one on this side. Once again, I don't know if that's on purpose or not. I'm not 100% sure. Now, I just threw on a random bra with this and you can definitely see the bra. So this is not the type of dress that you could wear with a bra on, I don't think, unless you maybe like taped this top part down to the bra with some fashion tape to prevent it from showing. This also has shoulder pads in it, which I'm not 100% sure why it has shoulder pads. I don't know if they were necessary for this style of dress. I think without having ever seen it on the website, I'm really struggling with even understanding what this is supposed to look like. But like looking in the mirror, these two cutouts are completely, utterly different sizes. So maybe this is supposed to be more off to one side and be really asymmetrical, but I don't personally love how that looks. Now this fabric is just like a pretty soft, like jersey feeling fabric, which means that it will also show any insecurities under it, unfortunately. Like you can definitely see my cellulite through there. It's also super, super incredibly comfortable, but do just keep in mind that especially in a pink color, like pink just shows cellulite through it quite badly. And I think that with the double whammy of it also being like this stretchy jersey fabric, it's going to show through quite a lot. Now, once again, I will try and find a link for this to link it in this video. If you like it, you will be able to hopefully find it on the website, but it's definitely not for me, not my style of dress at all, and probably not something that I would reach for or wear. So next up, we have a couple pieces of the Cupshe shapewear. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, I've tried a lot of different shapewear products at this point on this channel. I've tried many different brands. I've tried everything from like super expensive Skims or a Spanx down to like cheaper brands from Amazon. And I definitely have like my favorites that are my go-tos. And I would say most of my favorite shapewear products end up being around the like $35 to $55 mark. I don't usually love the super expensive luxury shapewear options. I just find them unnecessarily expensive. But I also usually don't love something that's really cheap either. Now, these ones are around the like $25, $26 mark. So very, very affordable. And I will keep that in mind as we're reviewing them. Now, the things that I personally care about most when it comes to shapewear are: one, how easy or difficult is it to get on? 2, how comfortable is it to wear? Is it something that I could wear all day? And 3, how many inches is it taking off my waist? Because realistically, that's what I personally am wearing shapewear for. I want to look snatched. I want to look very flat from the side. And if it's not delivering on those things, then I'm not ever going to wear it. So those are the things that we are going to test out with the Cupshe shapewear. So first off, how hard was it to get on? I would say it was maybe like a 6 out of 10 difficulty. Fairly tight, fairly firm. You're definitely going to be like, whew, when you finally get it up over your hips and slide on the straps, but you're not like sweating, dying, you need to go lie down, which that's what I would consider like a Skims bodysuit is like a 9 out of 10. I would say this is like a 6. Now, comfort. I personally do not find this very comfortable. In particular, right here. Anything that cuts right across where your legs have to bend, I always find unbearable to wear for a long period of time, because this is just digging into that really soft, fleshy piece. It's not sitting against your muscles. It's sitting like right in that crevice, and I really, really strongly dislike that. Now, this also has a hook and eye similar to a bra closure for the bottom, and I find those very uncomfortable to have between your leg for a long period of time because they're wide and they're hard. So as you're walking, like, you can feel that it's like mushing into your bits, it's mushing into your legs. I don't like how that feels. I would prefer either for it just to be a solid bodysuit with a little hole, like an open gusset that you can just pull open to go to the bathroom, or just be fully solid and I just take the whole thing off. Now, in terms of actually like snatching you in, I was sitting at around a 32-inch waist this morning, like right before I put this on, and I'm now sitting like closer to 30 and a half. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but it's taking around an inch and a half off, which is decent. It's not the best I've ever had. It's definitely not the worst I've ever had. So it is definitely taking something off. This is also fairly breathable, which I do appreciate. And if this matters to you, it does have some removable padding and some support for the chest. So you don't necessarily have to wear a bra with this if you don't want to. Every single time I ever try on shapewear, I always try it on underneath the Skims dress. So we will put it on, but I feel like the back is going to in particular look quite bad with this because this isn't fully seamless. It does have actual like bonded seams on the edges. It has a lot of like seams that you can feel throughout the entire thing. And I think under something really thin and slinky like this dress, you will be able to see that. And once again, I don't know how obvious it is to see on camera all the time, but in the mirror, it's glaringly obvious that this is like digging into my bum and causing like a little bump here. So I would not be able to wear it with this dress, which I would say this is one of the things that I do often reach for shapewear in. Now, I do think that this is kind of smoothing out my hips quite a bit, which looks nice. It's definitely making me look a little bit curvier in the waist, which once again is always appreciated. But I don't think that this is necessarily my favorite shapewear piece that I've ever tried. Now, if you're just looking for something that is very inexpensive, you like the $26 price tag, you're okay with it checking some boxes, maybe not all of them, I think that this could be okay. Do I think that I will personally pick this over other shapewear that I own? I don't think so. But the other shapewear that I own is more expensive than this. And I think this is something that I actually not necessarily have a problem with, but that I notice with many, many brands. This is not exclusive to Cupshe, and I want to be clear that I actually really, really like Cupshe. I love their swimwear. I have multiple of their little vacation-y dresses that I really like. A lot of times when companies first branch out into like a new product offering, like they decide they're going to offer shapewear, it's just not quite up to the standard of companies that have always been offering that. But I could say the exact same thing about other companies offering swimwear for the first time. It probably won't be as good as Cupshe's right away. It might take a few iterations, and for me, unfortunately, this one is just not quite there. All right, next up we have something a little bit different. This is one of their low support options. I actually wouldn't consider this shapewear at all. I would just consider this like a cutesy piece of lingerie, personally. I'm not personally feeling any kind of support or anything in here other than it is giving me a little bit of support for my chest, which is very much appreciated. But in terms of like smoothing or sculpting of the body, this is just how I normally look. This is not doing anything. So this piece is $25. Once again, quite inexpensive, good price. And I think if you're just looking for like a really sexy little lacy black bodysuit, that's a fine price for that. And I think that this is actually nice if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for shapewear and you order this, I think you'll be disappointed. Now, this has a lot of like lacy sections. You can see the portion over the bust is lacy, but it's also lined, so you don't have to worry about flashing anybody through here, which is great. It has this extra lace kind of diamond down towards the center. I think that that looks beautiful. It also has extra lace cutting up the sides, and also at the back, like this full portion is all lace. And I want to be clear, I'm wearing underwear underneath this, so do not panic. It does have adjustable straps, which is great. And I think that this is very cute, very pretty, but once again, I wouldn't call this shapewear. I would call this lingerie, or like a cute little bodysuit that you could wear on a night out with some jeans or like a little mini skirt, and it would just be like very sexy. And with that, those are all of the different things I tried from Cupshe this time. In general, I would say swimsuit, super cute. This, very cute. The pink dress and that beige shapewear, I really didn't like. I don't think I personally would recommend either of those. The pink dress, like maybe if you looked at it on me and you liked how it looked, amazing. I'm happy for you. Definitely consider getting it. I just really didn't like how it looked. It's not my style, not my thing. But something like this, I feel like is my thing. Super cute. Would absolutely wear it. But like always, let me know what you think. What were your favorites, your least favorites, and why? Huge thank you to Cupshe for sending me everything. I really appreciate it. And like always, I hope that you have a fabulous day and that I'll see you next time. Bye!